Hello everyone and welcome to the channel, and I am here for an album review for you guys. Now for this review, I'm going to be reviewing an album by the band Fear Factory. Now Fear Factory, if you didn't know, is a band that I'm kind of new to. I just got into them, I want to say last January. So yeah, obviously I haven't been a fan for very long, and I think they are a really great band and I'm definitely glad I got into them. Now, they are a band that I do wish I would have gotten into sooner, and it's kind of surprising that I didn't get into this band sooner than I did. This is one of those bands that I feel like I could have gotten into maybe 5 years ago or something, so it is kind of surprising that I didn't get around to diving into their music until recently. And the reason I say that is because, well, if you didn't know, Fear Factory was a band that heavily influenced one of the bands that actually got me into metal, and that band being Demon Hunter. So if you didn't know, Demon Hunter's music was heavily influenced by Fear Factory, and you know what? After getting into Fear Factory, after listening to their music and all that, I can definitely hear Demon Hunter in Fear Factory's music. So the album that I will be talking about in this video is The Industrialist by Fear Factory. Now, maybe some of you are wondering, of all their albums, why this one? Because I realize that this one is not exactly regarded as one of Fear Factory's best. But the reason I want to review it is because, well, I do think it is a solid album. I mean, Fear Factory, they've never released a bad album. But even though this is not one of their best, I still think it's solid. And I was listening to certain songs from this album recently, so I figured I'd give it a review. Now, this is the special edition, if you didn't know, so I'll show you what that looks like. It's a digibook. It's pretty cool to own. I don't know what exactly happened to the booklet to this, but yeah, the booklet came apart, so it's whatever. So yeah, the booklet, pretty cool. You got the disc right there. So that's the special edition digibook, pretty cool. So let's go ahead and get into this album. Now, I'm not going to be going over every song, but I'm just going to be going over the highlights and some favorites and just give you my overall thoughts and review of this album. Now, the album starts off with the title track, The Industrialist, which is a really good song, really good way to start off the album. It's got its theatrical moments, it's got some chatter, I want to say, at the intro of this song, some kind of commentary that builds up into the song itself with these riffs, and the riffs are really well made. I really like this one. Another song that's worth mentioning is New Messiah. This is another really great track. I think it's pretty catchy, and the vocalist Burton C. Bell, he sounds really good in this song. He really does sound like he's giving it his all, especially when he's delivering the clean vocals, and he does a really impressive job with everything that he does, not just on that song, but with this album. He just knows how to deliver the growls and clean vocals really well. I mean, there is a lot of bands that do that, but I think Burton does that really well on this album and throughout Fear Factory, of course. Now, another song that is worth mentioning is Deprived Mind Murder. This song, now, whenever I was first getting into Fear Factory last January, this song was actually one of my favorite Fear Factory songs, believe it or not. And I think because this song reminded me a little bit of Demon Hunter, specifically the True Defiance Extremist era. That's what that song kind of reminds me of, especially with the clean vocals. Yeah, it's a really great song, though. It's fairly catchy. I do like Burton's cleans in that song, and the aggression and the drill sound effects that are present in the song. It's just really good. And another song that I do want to mention is Disassemble. This is a song that I've been returning to a lot recently. It's kind of catchy, you know, especially with those growls, you know, falling down or whatever. I mean, that's just it's just a really intense song, and then when you get to the end of the song, it's more melodic with some clean vocals that just build up, and it's just really well done, and it's probably one of my favorites on the album. So this album overall, I mean, I can go on and on about other songs on this album, so I'm just going to leave it at that. So this album, it's fantastic. Now again, it's not Fear Factory's best, but it still is a solid album. I mean, Fear Factory has never released a bad album. If you like your metal intense and heavy, Fear Factory and this album will probably be up your alley. Yeah, definitely a really great album. So as a score, I'll have to give this album probably an 8.5 out of 10. It's a really solid album. It's not a perfect album, of course, as most albums aren't, but I do think it's still a very good album. Now, one thing that I have heard as far as in regards to this not being one of their best is I've heard a complaint that the album is basically more of the same for Fear Factory, which I can understand, but even with that said, I still do think it's an enjoyable album and it's really great. So that's my review for The Industrialist by Fear Factory. So let me know what you guys think. Are you a fan of Fear Factory? Have you heard this album? Feel free to let me know in the comments. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Have a nice day and take care.